Cat Stevens, Morning Has Broken, featuring the sublime talents, as we heard before the news, of Rick Wakeman, who's with us this morning. Cat Stevens, you know, without telling any tales out of school, he must have been quite a handful, Rick, mustn't he?
He was fantastic to work with. He just called me up and said he wanted to do Morning Has Broken as pretty much with acoustic guitar and piano, if I fancied doing it with him. So I went down to Morgan Studios in Willesden. We recorded that. And he was brilliant. We did all the backtrack, and then he went outside and, if I recall, smoked about 20 fags straight off in order to get... That's how he got the husky voice, which is amazing considering he'd had TB and lost a lung. Yeah. And that's how the voice came.
Blimey. I mean, I know the Second World War was a few years before you guys were rocking and rolling, but you sort of tried to get involved yourself because you had 3 heart attacks in your 20s, didn't you? Yeah,
but I stopped having them because they hurt, so I don't have them. I don't have them anymore. No, I got everything out of the way early. So I'm fitter probably than I've ever been, actually, at the present moment in time.
You're the opposite of Charlie Watts, who said he didn't do anything bad for the first 40 years, so he's trying to catch up now. Do you know that?
No, I didn't. What a great line.
Yeah, he said, why did you start taking drugs in the 80s? He says, because I forgot to in the 70s. It was as simple as that.
Yeah, I never actually took any drugs, popped any pills, or even smoked a joint, because I have a very excessive personality. I always do things in excess. And I knew that if I started on that route, I wouldn't be sitting here now because I'd have gone the whole hog. So there's certain things you love, you go, no, I daren't because I know I'll go the whole hog. So that's probably why. All
right, Morning Is Broken, absolutely gorgeous song, and you know the way it starts with your fantastic introduction. If you had to top trump that song with another song you play on, so top trump yourself. So we're putting Morning Is Broken down by you, and you've got to top trump it.
It's hard to, because it's a different thing, but certainly working with David Bowie on Hunky Dory. And he gave me free rein to play what I liked on the piano on that album. So I think people often say to me, oh, Life on Mars, gosh, you must have worked so hard to do that arrangement around the vocals and the band. It was the other way around. David just said, you play it as a piano piece and we'll work around you. So I've got to sort of cheat somewhat. I still sort of say, oh, yes, it took me hours to work it all out, but he didn't. So probably Life on Mars.
Gabby, Fiona, any stories to go and get anywhere near that story? David Bowie played around me. And this wasn't some kind of like 20th anniversary tour. This was, back in the day, this was the session, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was fantastic. I mean, I learned so much from David. I mean, he was very much his own man. And in fact, when we did Space Oddity together, I remember him arguing with the guy from the record company because he said, we're pressing it as a stereo single. And the guy from Philips, the record, he said, no. He said, we just press it mono for singing. And Dave said, no, stereo. He said, why? And Dave said, well, very shortly, everything will be in stereo. All the singles will be in stereo. So I want to be there at the beginning. And he said, well, we'll have to like set up for that. It's not worth it. We'll go in mono. And Dave said, if you're going to do that, you don't get it. He said, well, you're signed to us. He said, I'm not going to give it to you. And I'm sort of sitting there as sort of like a young 20-year-old going, oh, there's going to be a fight here. And but he got his way. And David said, he said, no, be your own man.
All right, and because that was the time, what was it like? How sexy was it to be in that session and be around and about in those times? What was it like?
I think you can look back in retrospect and go, wow, that was fantastic. But at the time, you don't.
As always.
That's it. I mean, crikey, you've been there enough. All of us have been. Things you don't. It's only when you look back you realise, you go, wow.
Why didn't I enjoy that more?
I know. Well, there's an element of truth in that. But maybe if you had tried to, it wouldn't have worked.
But that's the deal, isn't it? You can't have it all. Where would you put it?
Yeah.
Right, so give us a bit of that original keyboard, Life on Mars. They weren't just pop songs, were they? That's for sure.
Great writer.
Okay, T-Rex now, get it on. Don't suppose you played on this, did you?
Get it on, yeah, I did.
Yeah, I know you did.